So this is the scenario. I have no heat on the passenger side. Yeah, kind of weird. And this is a single climate zone vehicle. The driver's side blows nice, beautiful heat, keeps me nice and toasty in the winter, but the passenger side, kind of feel bad for my passengers because, well, they're going to get a little bit cold. So now, this is a 2009 Toyota Camry. Recently did the water pump, recently did the thermostat, and one of the reasons why I went down that was because, well, I wasn't having heat on the passenger side. The coolant system was neglected. I believe they ran water in it because it had a leak for a while, and then I think the other issue is that they used the wrong type of coolant, which caused some type of weird adverse reaction, and the system was pretty gummed up. And after doing a traditional flush with a garden hose, flushing out the heater core, the inlet and the outlet, even going to the engine, crud came out, but the water was flowing beautifully. It was nice and clean, and I had no issues. The flow in the heater core, which I'll show you in a little bit, is still pretty good. So now you're thinking, what is it? And what it is that even though you did that flush, there's still stuff in there that is blocking some of the passages that are preventing full flow to get through the whole entire heater core, not allowing you to get that full nice toasty heat on your passenger side. Now in the case of this 2009 Toyota Camry, you either have the single climate zone or the dual climate zone, and this is something to consider, especially on different vehicles that have the dual climate zone. You might want to check your blend door actuators first. If your system seems like it's been serviced, it's, you know, looking good, the coolant looks, you know, the original color that it's supposed to be, start with your blend doors. On the case of this vehicle, the blend door and everything is located behind this. This comes out really easy. There's a couple of screws up here. This pops out, get into there, right over there. Look at your actuators, see if they're moving, are they clicking, or the gears sound like they're stripped. Do you hear popping noises? If they're not working like they should, more than likely you're gonna have to dive deep into that, and the heater core is not your issue. Now for people who drive the Rams, and I see this a lot with the Rams because I had a Ram truck, those gears, they strip, they go bad, but that's because, you know, just my opinion, Chrysler used cheap parts in that, but Toyota for the most part used pretty good parts. So look into that first, and if that all checks out, then yeah, you possibly have a blockage on your heater core. So now yesterday I went ahead, took all this out, which I'm going to show you that, flushed out the lines again, and the water was flowing smooth. I went ahead, I did a Prestone coolant flush, and when I flushed everything out again, and I'll post a picture up here, it came out nasty and pretty disgusting. Filled it back up with water to see if the system was any better, still didn't have no heat. So it was time to bring out the CLR. Now before we dive into that, let's get all the stuff out over here. Every vehicle is different, but pretty much you want to find your heater hoses, which fortunately on Toyota, it's pretty easy, not too bad, at least on this 4-cylinder engine. Now let's take these out. These are 10 millimeters. Now this box right over here, there's 10 millimeter here and the other side, but mine's are jacked up, so we're gonna have to get that fixed later. But that doesn't affect at least the heating issue. Now slide this out. 3 bolts right over here, 10s. This slides right out just like so, and this gives us perfect access to our heater hoses. Now we need to take these things out. I already went ahead and drained the coolant, so shouldn't have too much of a mess. Now, advice I will give you if you're doing this, because you're going to be going back and forth running it with regular coolant, a little bit of silicone paste on the hoses goes a long way. It slides it in nice and easy. Now I went ahead and just blew out the excess water in the heater core. As you can see, it's brown, but primarily because I still had a little bit of the old coolant in there. Didn't do a complete flush, but I don't know if it comes out in the camera. As you can see, we got sediment on the bottom. Now the first time I did this, I had no sediment, and I'm thinking I'm good, but after using the CLR, the sediment was just filled pretty good on the bottom where I could scoop it out. So it's just kind of, and this is just regular water, honestly, it's just dirty. Just pour this out, and as you can see, all the junk that's inside the heater core still, and this is after using 1 treatment of CLR and a couple of flushes. So CLR is going to be your key to unclogging that heater core and getting all that crap out. So it's kind of, yeah, it was a lot worse, and I'll post pictures on the screen if I haven't done so already. So now this is why this is going to get misdiagnosed. In a situation like that, you might think, oh man, it's being restricted, the water's coming out clear. And let me show you. I mean, I got perfect flow. And as you can see, the water is nice and clear. Now, let's back flush this. So a reasonable person might think it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but that stuff is caked up in there pretty good, and it's preventing good flow, not allowing your heater core to do what it's supposed to do. Let's see if I could kind of give you a little more proof of concept. I'm just using this bucket just to catch some of that junk in there. Yeah, as you can see, still got a bunch of stuff in there. So even though it looks clear, get yourself a container and kind of monitor what is coming out, because we still got chunks and we still got a bunch of debris. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep flushing this with water, backflowing it each different way. Just do that for a little bit, and then I'll switch to the CLR. So I've been going back and forth for several minutes now. And well, we still got some debris, but it's a lot less. It's just more little particles at this time. So now we're going to introduce the CLR. Now, depending on your vehicle and its location, you might want to take out these hoses and just kind of use longer hoses so you can get it in. But fortunately, I mean, it's like Toyota knew this was going to be an issue. This is what I do. And there you go. Now make sure you do not have any residual water in here. Blow it out with a compressor, or just use your mouth, I guess, because you want the CLR, this thing, to be filled with CLR at its strongest and not diluted. Take a funnel. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pour the stuff in until it comes out the other hose. So now that that's done, this is where things get a little controversial. Some people say no more than 10 minutes, no more than 15 minutes, 25 minutes, 45 minutes, 46 minutes, 32.75 minutes. Yes, you don't want to leave this thing in there forever. I left it in there for 45 minutes yesterday and it was fine. So I'm going to leave this in for 45 minutes, and then when I come back, we'll flush it out. The whole point of this is that a traditional flush is not strong enough to break up that stuff in there. Yeah, you can use that compressor with the hose tool, and that's fine, that'll probably break it up, but you really need to like break this stuff down. This stuff works great. They sell it at the Walmart. It's 10 bucks. So yeah, and I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, this does work. I did this yesterday and the heat came back to my passenger side. But as preventative maintenance, because coolant is not cheap, we're just going to do it one more time, get as much as you can. You're not going to be able to get everything out, but you'll be able to get enough where your system is going to work efficiently. So we'll come back and we'll see what crud comes out. So 45 minutes later, went ahead and did some other maintenance items, drain and fill the transmission. Also kind of worked on the power steering, had a little leak. Just a bad clamp. So now let's go ahead and try to capture as much of this stuff as we can, so I kind of show you what comes out. And this is key because it's going to give you an idea of how long it's going to take to do this, how much of the stuff you're going to need. So, you know, monitor it, folks. So now I'm just gonna give it a quick squirt, just like so. And so far to the naked eye, we're looking good. We're looking really good. So let's pour this stuff out. And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, a little bit of sediment. Like I said, you're probably not going to get everything out, but considering where I started in the beginning of this, I mean, yesterday and even this morning, that's an improvement. So I'm going to back flush it the other way, go back and forth, and I'm confident that the heat's going to be better. Now look at that. There is barely anything in there. Compared to before when I just had tons of stuff coming out. I mean, this is good. So I'm gonna keep doing that for a little bit longer and run this thing. So we're all buttoned up. Everything is clean. Went ahead and just did another flush on the heater core. Just, you know, this stuff's expensive. The Xerix. It's like the pink. It's good for Toyota, Lexus, Scion. So just went ahead and did that again. And I also went ahead and just ran some water through the radiator to the engine block just to make sure there's anything out of it. So far it's looking real clean, looking really good. A suggestion that I will give is that run it with water, see if the heat works. If the heat's working perfectly, drain it and put the good stuff in there. If it's not working perfectly or it's better but you think it could get even more better, then just go ahead and do another flush with that. All right, so it's been a little bit. The system is bled, coolant is flowing through, thermostat is open, fans are kicking on. Nice hot heat right over here, and the same right over here, and it feels great. Even that one's hot too. Now, something to keep in mind, the heat is slightly toasty on this side compared to this one, but that's fine. It's better than it was before, but I'll take it. CLR to the rescue. And instead of spending $2,000 to $3,000 to have somebody do the heater core or ripping out this entire dash, I'm good with it. This feels nice and toasty. It's not blowing cold air, so that's definitely a win. So to wrap it up, if you have no heat, poor heat, or no heat on your passenger side and good heat on your driver's side, check out your heater core, folks. You could go ahead and you could start flushing it out traditionally, and you're going to see that you have good flow. The water comes out clear, but when you actually put some chemical like CLR in there, you're going to find out that thing is blocked up pretty good. Now, some people argue the different times of how long to use it. I use it for 45 minutes for each session, and it worked out great. Now, there are a bunch of other fancy tools that you can use, a hose with an air compressor to blow it out and all that stuff, and I'm sure that's fine and dandy, but I don't have that type of money or equipment, and this works really good. Now, if this doesn't fix it, definitely check your blend doors. They could be bad, or the actuator could be bad. But another thing to kind of keep in mind too, until you're confident that the heat is working, just don't go ahead and just throw money away with that coolant, because once you put that coolant in there, it's contaminated and it's just going to keep, you know, messing things up. Another thing to consider too, if your heater core is that bad, fortunately mine wasn't that bad, but bad enough to cause a heat issue, you might have to consider maybe changing the radiator or flushing that out. This case, radiator, it looked like it was actually changed. It looks like they've been hunting down a problem for a while on this car. I've already put new hoses on it, has a new thermostat and water pump, so my coolant system is 100%. Everything is good, and like I said, saved a bunch of money. So I hope this video helped. If you have a car that has heating issues, specifically no heat on the passenger side and the driver's side, give this a shot, and it definitely could save you money. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps.